Welcome to Unhinged Magi!
We're back and we're talking about
Flesh and blood.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Because there's some recent developments that have happened in Flesh and Blood. You guys have probably been hearing about it on multiple channels.
Right. It's going to the moon! Right? That's,
Yeah.
that's what it's doing?
Well, that's what some people say, and some people say it's like getting ruined because of the game side of it versus the investment side of it. There's a whole battle going on. The most recent news is firstly over this guy.
Oh man. Unlimited. Not being printed anymore for Crucible.
Unlimited Crucible.
Holy mackerel. Did you see the prices spike as soon as that was announced by Rudy?
They did. They did.
Oh my gosh. They were $70 a box and then went straight to $140.
Well, actually, to get the timeline right, what happened is Legend Story Studios put a post up on their website and said that they're not going to print this exact box, Crucible Unlimited, that's going out of print after only 3 months of being in print, which is actually really short.
What happened to Welcome to Wrath and Welcome to Arcane? Not Welcome to Arcane. Arcane Rising.
Yeah. So yeah, that's. I definitely would have thought if any of them were going to go out of print, and we did actually think that, by the way. We actually thought it was going to be like the Welcome to Wrath and Arcane Rising. We did not think it was going to be Crucible.
That doesn't make any sense. That's like jumping the gun here. Straight to the hole.
Yep. So that's one topic, and we'll talk about that. But then the other one is talking about this guy right here, Tales of Aria. So this is a first edition box that's sitting here, because that's all that exists at this point. But the Tales of Aria, the first edition, which normally have a lot of value, this one doesn't.
Womp womp.
Okay, so there's a couple topics to get to. Let's hit the Crucible of War here first.
Okay.
So
I can punch that one, right?
No, because these boxes are now going up in value really fast.
Right.
But that's actually kind of a problem because you guys know that we've even talked about like Flesh and Blood, how you basically have the first edition for the collectors investors,
right,
and you have the unlimited for the players.
This is players, but if the unlimited for the players is not there,
then you don't really have unlimited for the players.
Exactly. It kind of changes the ball game.
So, like, I understand that unlimited does not mean unlimited. At some point, unlimited is going to have to go out of print.
It's going to have another edition.
In fact, actually, if you are a member of the channel, we have members of the channel, and we actually did a private video for the members of our channel, and we actually told them to expect that the unlimited was going to go out of print at some point. Yeah. And we were like recommending to them that they actually start picking up Heart of Findles and stuff like that because like we're like, you guys, these things are like really, really rare, and if these go out of print, they're gonna spike like crazy in value.
We also based it on how many boxes actually have the Fables and Rares or unlimited. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe at some point I'll like make that video public, but we did. We actually made a video several months ago and told our subscribers that they might consider going out and grabbing like the Fabled and the Majestic Rainbow Foil Unlimiteds from like those certain sets, because like you just can't have something in print forever. And even if they didn't declare they're going to go out of print, when a box is $60, right?
What's the point of printing it again?
Yeah,
it's $60 sitting on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah, a $60 unlimited edition sitting on a shelf and nobody buying it is effectively a big red signal to the printer that says don't print.
Printing.
Yeah, so that effectively is out of print. And that's what we were telling people, but I did not expect that Crucible was going to be the one that goes out of print.
Yeah,
I thought for sure it was going to be Welcome to Wrath or Arcane Rising.
I think that would be the logical choice.
Well, that would even actually make sense because it would be a lot harder for people to complain because Welcome to Wrath was sitting at $60 a booster box for like quite a while.
Yep.
So it would be a lot harder for people to get their panties in a bunch and start complaining about like $60 booster boxes suddenly going out of print and oh my gosh, isn't this terrible?
Yeah, exactly.
But so they did. They put these ones out of print after only 3 months. Now that even deserves discussion unto itself.
True. And it begs to differ. What's going to happen to Monarch? Is that next?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, if Crucible went out of print and Monarch is now sitting there, and Monarch could actually be something that goes out of print, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like they could say like this one is more of like a standalone. And said this is like an expansion. I guess is maybe what they based that on.
I don't know.
You can even tell like the thinness of the box. Look at that. They are different, right?
True. Then we have Tales of Aria here, and Unlimited is not even released. So will it ever be released? I'm sure they printed it.
Actually, if I was Legend Story Studios, I would actually consider not even doing an unlimited run of Tales of Aria.
But at this point, that means first edition is unlimited. At that point,
Well, I mean, it's still first edition, but it's like it is a mistake, I think, of any card game creator to print to such a demand that the cards become worthless. I think that is a mistake.
Yeah, true.
And right now, these are first editions that are going for like $110 to $125 a box.
And the great news is I picked up mine from Star City Games at $175.
That's what I paid too. I paid $175 for all my first edition boxes, and I got 3 cases is what I bought. So I had to buy a ton. But like, I mean, I do have like some investment in it. And like, I'm cracking them and I'm playing them and stuff like that. But like, yeah, I was planning on leaving some sealed because I'm like, hey, they're first edition. There's going to be unlimited. I don't have to worry about, not people in the community not getting cards.
Now, I remember people Rudy and many of the other videos and YouTubers have been talking about the fact that people canceled their orders because the value didn't go up. And so that they went ahead and released the product started going to the bottom as people raced to the bottom. People aren't accepting their orders. So basically, anybody who is trying to use Tales of Aria as an investment vehicle went ahead and called up their companies, and seeing that it was tanking, and said, I'm not buying it. I'll cancel my order. Freak this out. And so basically, the player base that actually wanted the boxes to open got screwed out of an extra $50. So, Tales of Aria, man, it tanked like a rock. I bought mine at $174, and it just went whoosh, right?
That's about what I bought mine at too.
During the pre-orders, it kept climbing up, and then a roller coaster way back down. Everyone threw their hands up in the air as it cranked to the bottom. Now, many other YouTubers, and Rudy himself, actually came out and explained why that happened. People started seeing the prices tank, and everybody who bought it for an investment vehicle went and called their store and went, hey, I'm not going to pay you. Yeah, just cancel my order. I'm not going to pay you. And so what did that store going to do? He put it up online for less than everybody else. And then the next guy would call his store and go, hey, I'm not going to pay you either. Screw you. I'm not going to pay you. He comes to my door. I'm still not going to pay you. So then they put those up on there. And it's a race to the bottom. Let's get to the bottom. And so Tales of Aria, it tanked like a rock. It was at 124 at one point, and then it went straight to 110. So first edition boxes for all. Now, if you're like me and did the pre-order of 174 and accepted your boxes, well, it sucks to be you. And maybe you're a part of the actual player base of Flesh and Blood. And if you are an actual person who accepted your orders and are part of the player base, you got screwed out about $60 to $50.
So, honestly, that feels a little dishonest to me. Not you, but like the people who like bought a pre-order and then just like decided not to pay. That feels a little dishonest to me. So, like, I did buy 3 cases. I bought them pre-order. I paid about $175 per box, but like, no, I'm not gonna cancel. So I went ahead and like actually got them, and I got them all from two of them from Channel Fireball, and one I didn't do pre-order. I got the other one from like one of Rudy's deals, and that price was a little bit better. That was like $150 or something.
I got a couple from Channel Fireball and some from Star City Games.
But anyways, so I think ultimately what it really comes down to is, and this is why like Monarch is in here. I think Monarch, like they went up to a high price for a little while, but then there was enough supply in the market that all the demand was met and then some. So that price basically pulled back from like $600 a box all the way back to like $300 a box, and even went a little lower. And now what is this, like $280 or something like that for Monarch first edition? But the key lesson there is there was more supply of Monarch than what there was demand, which caused it to actually pull the price back. I think Legend Story Studios should have been paying better attention and realizing maybe there isn't as much demand as we think. Yes. And if I was the head of Legend Story Studios, I would have taken whatever the first edition supply of Monarch is, and I would have reduced it for Tales of Aria.
Exactly. It's clear based on the prices that are currently out in the market that there is a flood, right, of Tales of Aria. Therefore, it's not necessarily the fact that people call and cancel their orders. It's the fact that they printed too much. They printed literally to oblivion currently.
Well, I think they had the same print size here as they did here.
I think they printed more here.
You think they printed more?
We don't know the numbers, but I think they printed more here. It's fairly obviously they had no choice but to print more to make it crash this hard. Even Monarch had a pullback right at the end.
Now the thing is though, like this isn't a bad set. It's a good set.
That's a great set.
So like
this has nothing to do with the gameplay.
Yeah, so
we're only talking about numbers and boxes and that kind of stuff.
I do think that the people who are buying boxes at today's prices, I do think that that's a good purchase, like investment-wise.
Yeah, totally.
However,
I mean, it's the price of an unlimited box of Tales of Aria, pretty much.
So here's the problem. I'm going to summarize it for you guys. If Legend Story Studios is trying to satisfy two different customer bases, they have investors and collectors over here on this side, and you have players over here on this side. And you make the first edition to satisfy the investment desires of the investors and collectors. And you make the unlimited to satisfy the players, right? Well, if you print too much of the first edition, you piss off your investors and your collectors. Not a good move, because they're your big players, they're your whales. And the first edition product is really mostly for them. Let's all just be honest, it is, right?
It is.
So don't piss off your collectors and your investors by overprinting the thing that they want to go up in value, number one. And number two, if you've got your players over on this side and then you release Crucible in Unlimited, but then you knock it out of print within 3 months, now the players have a reason to be a little pissed off.
Exactly.
So in my eyes, there's two mistakes that were recently played here by Legend Story Studios.
Yeah.
Cutting the print off on this after 3 months, I think, is a mistake. And a print run on this, larger than it should be, not paying attention to what they should have seen on Monarch, I think is a second mistake.
Yeah.
Those two things, I do think that there's not unrecoverable.
No,
right?
no.
The game is fine. People still buy it.
We're not talking about the gameplay or the enjoyment of the game or anything.
But I'll tell you what. Everyone who's an investor and a collector, they're probably all sitting there saying, like, I don't know if I'm going to buy pre-order next time.
They're not. 100% guaranteed. I am going to actually put that on my channel, too. When I see that they have the pre-orders out, I'm going to tell all of you, do not buy. Why? Because it's going to go into the crapper. There's no reason for me to tell you about any pre-order for Flesh and Blood because it's going to tank.
The only thing that would change that for me from like an investment perspective is if they said something very clear, like we are going to do like 1/8 or 1/6 the print run of Tales. We're going to do for the next first edition on the next set.
But here's the thing. They won't tell us the print run while they're doing it.
Well, that would be the only thing that would make me buy a pre-order. Short of them saying that, I'm not going to buy a pre-order. I'll just let the product come out and then I'll make a decision.
Just like Magic the Gathering, I wait till it tanks to the bottom, and then that's when I purchase Magic the Gathering. You never see new sets opened until like 3 months after it's been out on my thing. Well, 2 months.
And you know what it might be? I mean, I don't know the Legend Story Studios owners. I'm not in any contact with them. Maybe they saw how much like Crucible and like Arcane Rising and Welcome to Wrath, how high those prices went, how high the demand was. Maybe they just effectively got greedy and thought, well, if we can sell more boxes at that per box price, we're going to make so much more profit. And maybe that's why they didn't pull it back. There was like just a desire to just print more boxes and sell more boxes, but they overstretched their demand is what they really did.
Yeah. From what I understand, they ship to distributors. Aren't distributors required to take everything or something?
Oh, I don't know how that works. I have no inside data on that.
I was just curious if you did. Anyways, so we have, Monarch. It didn't really tank that bad, right? We got 250 current box value. We have Tales of Aria, 110, 114.
It's a smoking hot deal at that price, honestly.
Exactly, but it won't remain there forever. Obviously, the first editions will run out. Yep. But regardless, it should never be at 114.
It shouldn't have been at 114. Something went wrong.
This is not
for it to have gotten to 114. This would not be
considered a first edition set by any standard. By any stretch of the imagination.
Not at the moment. Years later, maybe.
No, of course.
Like if Flesh and Blood keeps going, and then like like Legends was a much higher print run than like Alpha, Beta, all that for Magic.
True.
And so I guess Legends is probably not a great example because Legends was even pretty rare when it even came out.
Exactly. The Legends sold out. The demand was there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Arabian Nights sold out within a week. And then we had the Legends come out, and the Legends sold out in maybe a month.
You know, Alliances might be a better example.
Sell out. That Fallen Empires is the one that just went and revised. It was there forever.
But see, like Fallen Empires was mostly a garbage set. Like maybe Alliances is a better example because Alliances is a good set. It didn't have a ton of value like at the time. I mean, it wasn't crazy value like in the boxes and stuff. But now, like an Alliances sealed box is worth an awful lot.
Well, yeah, but we're talking about what? How many decades? Like 2?
Yeah.
At least?
So I do think that
Less
Tales
than
of Aria does have a very bright future of going up in price as sealed
But
boxes.
how far? How long down the road? Are we 5 years? 10 years? I mean, you have to hold on to it and sit on it until it goes up. Right?
I can't give a date, but I do have an answer. It doesn't depend on date. It depends on the growth of the player base. And if the growth of the player base is large, and like your player base doubles, triples, then this is going to become expensive a lot faster.
But here's the thing. Based on the products that are being released, we can tell that the player base is not doubling based on the print runs and the values they're coming out.
Well, once we know the print run size of this, we'll have that
okay.
data.
Once we know this one,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, then
Now,
we'll have a pretty good sense.
So Monarch
of the demand.
would say that that did not double during Monarch. We can say that maybe.
Yeah,
Right?
I think so.
Crucible, we can probably say that didn't double either because all the prices of Crucible boxes tanked as well.
And another thing that's hard to predict is all the
Of
people.
course, now the Crucible boxes are on the rise.
People that bought first edition boxes and they didn't open them, they just have them like a pallet, like sitting like in a back shelf. I mean, that can really confuse assumptions about demand, right?
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
like, I mean, if you only have this many people, but say this much of the supply that was consumed is all just sitting in pallets for investors, and those are the people that didn't buy. It's like maybe the player base did get larger, but then you can't tell because those investors didn't scoop up that supply. So it can kind of gray the numbers.
So you think that investors did not keep their pallets where they did with Monarch?
I think a lot of investors learned their lesson on Monarch and didn't jump into Tails as hard. And I think that's one of the key differences, personally.
That's an interesting idea.
Because I mean, Monarch was a shot over the bow, right?
Yeah.
This got up to $600 a box, and then it fell to $300, then like $250. Now it's up a little bit.
And Rudy's been buying them for $200.
He gets such amazing prices. But anyways, yeah. So like, I mean, I think that any investor paying attention to Flesh and Blood would see this and think maybe I'm not going to go as hard in the next set.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyways, I do think legitimately there is a mistake by Legend Story Studios. This should not have gone out of print that fast, and this should have been a lower print run overall.
Yeah. All right, but we're not telling them what to do.
I'm just giving my opinions.
We're just giving our opinions.
I mean, I could be totally wrong. I could be a complete idiot, totally wrong on everything.
True.
But
True.
it's my opinion. And haha, joke's on you. You watched the video.
If you made it to this far, well, thank you.
Okay, so thanks a lot, guys. I hope you have a great day.
All right, hit that like button, subscribe, and if you're buying Flesh and Blood, use our link below for TCG Player, and we'll get 3.5% back. You have no increase in price, and, well, it helps us out.
Yep. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.